watching the Duke and North Carolina game film? Just any particular thing that you're working on for Morgan State?
Yeah, just being able to handle the moment in the way that we need to handle the moment. Like none of the extra stuff that went on in that game is just not characteristic of our team. So we address it, we'll move on, and we'll respect the game, how to play it, and hopefully that's just a lesson learned.
Was there some things that both those defenses were doing maybe you weren't expecting, or was it just maybe more physical?
No, I mean we expected the physicality. We expected expected them. I thought they would not single cover our bigs. So sometimes that kind of disrupts. You know, when you're like so wide open, you're single covered, you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm expecting double teams. So we're prepared a little bit better for that to attack single coverage. You know, I think for the most part, I thought Raven did a great job at playing fast and slow, creating other options that she was not executing in the North Carolina game. So it was a good learning weekend for us, and hopefully we can continue and make them habits.
We've seen more of Sakima lately, just with her coming off the bench first for UNC. What went into that decision, and also just kind of what's her progression?
You'll see more of Sakima. You'll see more. Like she's up to ante with just practicing at a high level, putting in some extra work. I mean, there's no question that she's smart. She impacts the game on both sides of the basketball. But it's been a build-up. It wasn't something in which, if she was playing like this a month ago, there's no question she would be the first one off the bench. But, sometimes it takes a little bit longer she's new. I think she really has an understanding of what we want from her, and she's executing.
I want to ask about playing with emotion. You talked about the game burst and things uncharacteristic of the team, but how do you keep, I guess, a balance between playing with a competitive fire, but then not letting it get in the way of executing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good without all the kisses and all of that crap. That's not a part of who we are. Like, you take that stuff away, I'm good, because we play with grittiness, we play with aggressiveness. We're just not a team that has done that before, so that was new on my part. And I only saw Ravens, I didn't see Chloe's until we talked about it after the game, and I watched film, and I didn't get a good feeling. So we addressed it. Our team and players apologize for reacting that way, and we'll display better sportsmanship when it comes to that.
As the dust settled, there was a lot of resistance last week on the court. How big was that for this team early on and moving forward in the season?
I mean, it's cool to see this team develop. It's really cool to see them gel and be able to play and win different ways. I equate it to being in an NCAA tournament where you can see different styles of play. So it's only going to help us. So the schedule that we put together, that we've always put together, it's working. It's working. It's challenging us to dig a little bit deeper into what we need to do on both sides of the basketball.
What have you seen from Sanaya Fagan this year, and what would you like to see from her going forward?
Fagan knows what we want. We have a high standard and high expectations of her. She has to do it every single day. She has to do it in practice, and then in the games, she's got to be able to execute that. So on both sides of the basketball, mainly defense. We have to have a better effort. She knows it. Like, it's not anything that we haven't discussed. It's not anything like, there's no newness to that. So it's just that. If you can bear down and guard somebody and rebound the basketball, you'll see your minutes go up fairly quickly.
Dawn, looking back at that stretch of Malaysia coming in against Duke and really settling the game down, that game-clutching run, just how impressive was that, especially since she had the foul trouble in the first half?
Yeah. Malaysia's a great player. Like, seriously, like, to be able to handle the adverse situation in North Carolina, to talk to her and address it. Sometimes she doesn't really understand, and then when we talk, she has a better understanding. Like, if I had to ask her what was the difference between, North Carolina and Duke, she said defense. Plain and simple. Like, it's not offensively. There's nobody in the country that can touch the things that she's able to do. But if she doesn't defend, you know, you're giving up more than you're giving, and that's hard, and especially when it's a, you know, tough competition, tough environment. You know, sometimes having her experience, sitting and watching, will pay dividends for the rest of the year. She understands it. She's a different player in practice, defending the basketball. So, you know, although it's hard to swallow. I mean, it's hard to swallow as a, you know, as a great young player for her family, for her, you know, for the community. It's hard. It's hard for me. Like, it really is hard for me to have her sit there. But I'm all for making her uncomfortable early, so we never have to experience that again. I'm hoping that's the case.
You told us on Saturday that maybe you didn't like the way the team responded in Friday
Hold on
practice.
1 second. But let me just expound on that. Sure. Like, Powell deserved to be in the game, but I did ask Powell, hey Powell, we need this youngster to go through this experience. He's like, yeah, I'm good, I'm cool. So it is being able to communicate with players who earned it, who has the experience to be in the game, but the sacrifice. And not a whole lot of people will know that, but I'm saying it because I'm proud of that, because that's not your normal response. Okay, so I'm proud of Powell for taking it on the chin, but also if you communicate with players that have a better understanding, they're not thinking about what did I do wrong, why not go back in the game. Powell knows she's got a lot of great moments for us, and she had a great moment for us in building the lead.
You told us on Saturday that you're looking for a better Friday practice after UNC just because how many Thursday, Sundays you're going to play this year. What was that Saturday like going into Duke, and what's been the response after that first Thursday, Sunday weekend, yesterday and today?
Saturday's practice was awesome. I mean, energetic, focused, and I do think the things that we worked on, we executed to a T. Like, it was great. Yep.
Tony, you spoke before about with Malaysia and kind of maybe how it parallels you and Debbie at Virginia. You said that Debbie, maybe didn't talk to you that much, but Tara in the Olympics did. What were some of the things that Tara did to maybe not rein you in, but say, hey, I need you to play this way?
Tara's just straightforward. This is when I got cut in '92. If the Olympic Committee needed a point guard, do you think I would recommend you? Like, yeah. Like, no, I wouldn't. Turn the ball over too much. Yeah, that's hard to swallow, but I got it. Message heard. So, you know, and if I didn't have instances like that, I wouldn't be a 3-time Olympian. I wouldn't have coached, assistant coach at 2 of them. Wouldn't been the head coach. So it's all growing pains. It's all stuff that make you uncomfortable. You ain't gotta like it, but you certainly have to do something about it. That's gonna help your cause.